We are going to delve into the adult stage of our furry companions' lives. It's just so crucial to understand the nuances of their nutritional needs. And joining us once again live is the esteemed Dr. Judy Morgan. She's a pioneer in holistic pet care. So, we're going to continue exploring the life and needs of a dog from puppyhood to adulthood. And now here we are in the adult stage. So, what do we need to be taking into consideration as the dog makes the transition from adolescent to adult?
So the really key big change here is calorie requirements. So we've gone from rapid growth to high energy to now we're starting to settle down a bit. We're slowing down. Metabolism is sort of evening out and it's not racing like it was. And so we want to be really careful that we look at the nutrient requirements on these guys and that we back off. So if you've been feeding 3 times a day, now's a really good time to go down to once or twice a day. And then also look at the calorie amount that you're giving your dog, because again, we don't want fat adults either. So you're going to back down on the amount of food. And really it's a sort of a gradual reduction as they're approaching the end of that growth phase and moving into adulthood, so that by the time, we've got all that growth done, we've got them on maintenance calories and not growth calories.
Got it. Can you elaborate for us, Dr. Judy, on how the Constitution's diet addresses these changing nutritional needs in adult dogs?
So as we're moving into adulthood, we're getting a better idea of what our pet's element personality is at this point. But now they are entering the next phase. They were the fire teenagers. Now they're going into earth. So if as people, this is the time when we would be settling down, getting married, having kids, and being very nurturing, because the earth element is very nurturing. So we can support that using the Earth Constitution's diet as part of our rotation. Again, we want to be rotating. But these are, so you don't even have to know your dog's personality. You could just go with, okay, we're entering that time of life and I want to support that. So you could use Earth again as part of your rotation. Now, if you're not sure of your dog's personality and you don't know where you should be feeding, just rotate all 5 and you're going to be fine. You'll keep everything in balance that way.
There you go. Until you find you really hit your stride with the food. I love that. How, yes, we can have a certain element on our radar and our dog will benefit, but also having a willingness to try different things and just be in tune with them, right? I mean, isn't that the key here?
Yeah, absolutely. So my little crazy guy cannot tolerate rabbit, which is really unusual because rabbit is a protein that we use very commonly as our novel protein for dogs with allergies. It's a nice cooling protein. We're talking energetics, and my little guy absolutely cannot tolerate it. I have another dog who cannot tolerate beef, and I know that just from feeding it to them and seeing what happens with them. So I rotate proteins, I rotate brands, I rotate a lot of things for my dogs. But with the one guy, I always leave out the rabbit, and with the one girl, I always leave out the beef, and they just get other things in their rotation.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Dr. Judy, earlier in the show, you mentioned the importance of hydration and you offered some really helpful tips about keeping the water in the bowl, also cleaning out the bowl. But I think we also really need to take into consideration some of the symptoms of dehydration. What are they? What should we have on our radar?
So it's really interesting because we know this just from the effects that we can feel if we don't drink enough water or we get a little bit dehydrated, but the heart rate will actually go up. Their eyes may seem to be sunken or sucked back a little bit. Their third eyelid may come up. They'll be more lethargic. If you lift their lip and feel their gums, you'll actually stick to the gums. They get real tacky and decreased skin elasticity. So if you pull up the skin over their shoulders and it stays tented up, that's pretty significant dehydration by that point. And one thing I will say is if you have a dog that eats dry kibble as their main meal, they are going to need a lot more water than those who are on a very high moisture diet. A dog needs about 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight per day. So that's a lot if you have a big dog. But if they're not drinking that much and they're on a very high moisture diet, then they may be getting a lot of that from their diet. But if they are a kibble fed dog, you want to make sure that they're getting lots of hydration because they're not getting the hydration from their food.
Yes, and it's a really good point to if they increase physical activity or the weather is hotter, taking all of that into consideration and really upping how many ounces that they get. So thank you so much for that helpful information. We touched briefly on dental health with dogs. We should really just go a little deeper here, Dr. Judy. I know this is something that you're very passionate about. So can you speak to the importance of dental hygiene for our adult dogs in particular? You know, I know a lot of times, I don't want to get ahead of us, but the seniors, you just really see a state of suffering in a lot of senior dogs. So what can we do now to prevent that?
Yeah, so dental disease, periodontal disease, which 80% of them have by age 3, contributes to heart disease, contributes to kidney disease. All that bacteria in the mouth, it's a very vascular area. So if you have a lot of bacteria under the gum line, then that is getting into the bloodstream. And where does it go? It gets filtered out through the kidneys, it gets filtered through the liver, it gets filtered by the heart valves. And that's not good places for bacteria to get stuck. So really critical that we're taking care of their teeth. And I'm going to debunk a myth here. People generally think that feeding dry kibble will keep the teeth clean. That would be like your dentist saying to you, here, all you ever have to do is eat this dry cereal, crackers, cookies, whatever, and it's going to keep your teeth clean. No, it doesn't. It's carbohydrates, which actually break down to sugars, which coat the teeth with more plaque and tartar. And the other critical thing is having a true good professional cleaning or evaluation of the mouth. 75% of dental disease occurs below the gum line, so you cannot see it. So those dental x-rays are critically important.
So important. Thank you so much, Dr. Judy. We want to debunk some myths when it comes to adult dog nutrition as well. So let's go ahead and separate fact from fiction together when it comes to adult dog nutrition. We're going to start with myth number 1, Dr. Judy. Adult dogs need a raw meat diet for optimal health.
Well, that's sort of not true. So some dogs thrive on a raw diet. My dogs are raw fed, have been for years, and they have done very well on it. However, it is not for all dogs. It is not for all pet parents. So what we want is that balanced diet that's going to provide all the nutritional needs, whether that's a commercial diet, a homemade diet, whether it's raw, gently cooked, canned, dehydrated, whatever form of the diet that you want to use, you need to choose what is best for your individual. Every pet is an individual. Like I said, I've got 5 dogs and I pretty much have 5 different meals at every meal because they all have different requirements to support their personalities, their issues, whatever's going on in their life.
Thanks so much for watching this Dog Mom News clip. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome and informative Dog Mom News content. And while you're at it, ring the bell so that you can find out about more content in real time. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, everyone.